Carl, you didn't just serve in the armed forces, did you? You showed incredible bravery. Tell us about that.
In September '92, there was a Hawk aircraft, which is the same as a Red Arrows for people. And what happened was it actually crashed on the runway at RAF Chivenor. I was one of the first people there. It had two pilots on board. First pilot ejected and managed to get out of the aircraft. The second tried to eject, but unfortunately, because of the impact of the crash and it becoming a fireball, he wasn't able to get out of the aircraft. We knocked down the main flame mass. I then straddled the aircraft, managed to get into the canopy, and I got the pilot out. Unfortunately, he died 11 days later. But with that, I got the British Humane Society Bronze Award for Bravery due to the fact that I was sitting on top of a fireball which could have exploded at any time. When I was discharged out of the Air Force and kicked out, I was told that even though it was a civilian medal that had been awarded, because it had been awarded by the military, I wasn't allowed to wear it.
Let's take you back to that dreadful day when you were kicked out of the RAF. What exactly happened?
It was on the 15th of April, 1997, and I was called into OC Admin Services, which was the headquarters of Personal Services Flight at RAF Honington. And when I got there, there was the officer admin, there was the padre, who's a vicar, and also RAF police were there. And they sat me down, and it was then just a case of they just asked me one question, and it was, SAC Austin, do you have homosexual tendencies? And I paused, and it was that split second where I was about to ask pardon, but then it was that reality that I had to be true to myself. And I think if I'd have said no, I think they'd have been fine with it and just having to follow, the rules of the regulations that they had to sort of follow up with. But I think the fact that I burst out into tears, started crying, I think answered the question for them. They started to ask the question again. And I realised then that my life had completely changed within that split second. And that's because I'd recently my papers had come through to get promoted, so I was going to be a corporal, and I was going to sign on for 22 years. I'd already agreed to sign on, I'd already agreed to 12 years. And within that split moment, I'd lost my job, I'd lost my career, I lost my home, I lost my family, and effectively I lost, all my friends. And the reason why I say I lost my family was because the Air Force were my family. They were part of who I was at that time. And at the age of 24, that was really hard. What
was going through your mind? Did you realise the implications of what you were saying?
Probably not. I think at the time it was more a case of, I felt that I had to be me. And I think for many years I'd been living a double, treble, quadruple life. I think part of joining the Air Force was running away from the HIV and AIDS epidemic in the 80s and early 90s, because we were told that if you were gay, you were going to die of this disease, which is very relevant at the moment with everything that's going on with the drama It's a Sin. And I think that was my running away. So I think I actually thought that, at least if I was honest, and this was 1997. So I guess I thought that it might just be a case of, it was frowned upon, but maybe things could change and things could be different. I wrote to Tony Blair, I wrote to Graham Stringer, my MP, I wrote to the Ministry of Defence to argue my case with them, the fact that, look, I've got an exemplary record, I've got a British Humane Society Bronze Award for Bravery, I've got the Good Show Award, I was mentioned in the Queen's Birthday Honours list in 1996 for my services for the Air Force. I've been promoted within 6 years. And just because of my sexuality, I was being kicked out, and it was strange, because to be marched off the camp by RAF police, not being able to say goodbye to anybody, not being able to sort of collect your thoughts was hard, and it's having these sort of conversations that brings those moments up, and it takes you back to the day it happened, but also thinking the fact that yes, how far we've come on in that time. It wasn't legalised until the 12th of January 2000.
How do you feel about today so many years down the line, do you feel vindicated?
I think that it's taken. I won't say I feel vindicated. I think I feel that to take 21 years to let people have their medals back, which they earned. You know, people they'd done things that you'd got the medals because you'd actually achieved something, or you'd been at battle, or you'd been at combat, or there was a reason why you had that medal. To have that stripped from you just for being LGBT back in the day was fundamentally wrong. And I think, you know, it took the government 20 years to apologise. It's immensely proud that I can wear that medal with pride and know that, you know, I'm accepted now as someone who can wear that medal with pride, like many other RAF veterans and military serving veterans, you know, in the Army, in the Navy, in all the services. To be able to wear your medal, to be able to wear your beret with pride makes such a massive difference to people.